Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show. It is me. I am producing TFT. And Tepper is not here either.
Ah! It's not Greg.
Thank God it's not Greg.
The moment that I saw the countdown, correct. The moment that I saw the countdown coming in, I almost hit him with a yeah.
Correct, yes.
So Mallory and I get in here, and back in the day, it was normal for us to, okay, I say normal. Like, I think back to, say not last January, but the January before last, so not this year, 2022, we did so many episodes of TFT together because Tepper was out with child number 2. And so it's like, and that was pre-WTF.
Yeah.
So there's been, I mean, I would say north of probably 30, 35 episodes throughout our tenure here where you and I have done, it might be up to even 50 at this point of just you and I doing TFT. So it's not like it's completely not normal, but now that we do WTF, it was like, I almost put the WTF logo on, you almost set the stream to be WTF, and it was like, oh,
that's not it.
This is weird.
It's funny. I actually pulled up the picture. I think it was yesterday or the day before or something. I pulled up the picture that we took right out here, right in front of the studio when we had done the first TFT show, all-female show together in the history of Texas Football Today, I guess. And I was like, man, that seems like forever ago.
I was just going to say, when was that? November of something?
No, that was May, maybe June of 2021.
We were in dresses. I was, at least.
I was wearing this dress, actually, of 2021 because I just graduated. I just graduated from college. And I'd been brought on almost full-time at that point. And Tepper was on vacation, so you were like, hey, do you
June
want
2nd.
to...
Well, that's when
Yeah,
you posted
correct.
it. I think you posted it that day. No, that's what's funny is I was in that dress because we basically have the same
Yeah,
dress.
that's right.
So I was the one in that dress.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, oh, that happened like very, like that at that point. I looked at it very recently, and I was like, man, at that point, like we didn't have WTF or anything, so
But
it
that still
felt
doesn't
very
feel like-
strange doing
Yeah.
it together at first. Well, now it's like, oh, it's just
It still doesn't feel like that was that long ago, though, is the crazy thing. Like,
it's
I was
flown
I was
by,
thinking
know.
about that on Friday when we did Mailbag Friday. It was episode 1600, and I was like, the fact you weren't here when we did the big 1000th extravaganza, which is another thing that just makes it feel weird. But the fact that we've done 600 episodes since the 1000th extravaganza, I mean, that feels like it was, I don't
It's
know,
nuts.
last summer.
Right.
God, maybe I'm just.
Time just flies by now. No, and I was thinking about
I'm
that
getting
too.
old.
I was thinking about this weekend. I was like, man, it's been 2 years since I've graduated college. That's wild.
Yeah.
Like
Imagine how I feel.
because I was
old as hell.
how many?
21,
6, because you
22,
graduated 2 years before me,
23.
right?
4 years. Yeah, it's been
Oh, 4. Not 6. Yeah.
I'm not that old.
I don't know why I was thinking 6. Yeah, but it was 2 years
Yeah,
before me.
2019. May of 2019.
Time seriously flies,
It's
man.
now May of 2023. There was a whole pandemic mixed in between. That's really what does it.
Yeah.
Is
Pandemic.
because like we did the 1000th before the pandemic. No, during the pandemic. It was
Y'all hit
during.
1,000 during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think so because Tepper and I were the only two in the office.
Okay.
Because that's why we had to go all remote guest. Yeah. That
Well,
time
was
has no
I in-
meaning. We say that
Was
on
I
the show all the
interning
time.
at that point? Maybe I was here.
No, because you were a fall intern, weren't you?
Mhm.
Or a spring intern?
I was fall
Fall.
of 2020.
Yeah, so I think we did it the summer of 2020. We did it summer of 2020, so you had
Yeah.
not started yet. I think you had been notified that you were going to be hired, but not.
I was not
actually
there
here.
yet.
Yeah, that was fun. Dudes rock. Get out of here,
I was just
Matthew.
about to. I was just about to say that. We're starting. What was our new hashtag that we were starting? We had
dudes
said
suck.
this on dudes suck. Hashtag dudes suck. That's why we're here today.
2023.
That's why we're here today.
Yeah. Did you have a good Memorial Day weekend? Or I guess we can save
I
that
did.
for a little bit of the first part of the show since we're about to roll the theme intro. But Matthew, the great thing about Tepper not being here is the fact that other than what I'm about to say, the quote or the hashtag dudes rock will not be said for the rest of this week.
It
because
won't.
if Grev comes in here and Grev won't say that around us because Grev has a brain.
No, and Grev loves us.
Correct.
Tepper does not.
Correct.
Tepper has proven time and time again that he does not.
Correct.
Because he continues with the hashtag dudes rock. If he truly loved us,
He would not think that dudes rock.
he would not. He himself disproves that.
Correct. And with that being said, roll the theme intro.
Pickle! Hit the arrow sign.
Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Louisville, Texas. It is Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name is Ashley Pickle. I'm the executive producer of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, a streaming service, and Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine with a corresponding website, texasfootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at texasfootball.com on YouTube or Twitter, because Facebook, Zuckerberg. Or you can listen to us on the podcast version, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting here, not being Greg Tepper. Sitting over there, not being Ashley Pickle, is Miss Mallory Hartley, our associate producer. Howdy.
Howdy. How's it going?
Well, how are you?
I'm good.
This is still weird. This is Texas Football Today, and I keep having to remind myself of
This is
that
not
in my brain.
WTF.
It is not Women Talking Football, which you should also subscribe to.
Correct.
Um,
Plug.
Today is Tuesday. It's the most Monday feeling Tuesday ever. May 30th, the day following Memorial Day, 2023. There are 177 days until Thanksgiving. May 30th, the birthday of CeeLo Green. That's a name you haven't heard of in a while.
Does he sing that song "Forget You"?
Mm-hmm.
I like that song.
Yeah.
The clean version.
I was
of course.
going to say, we stand a radio clean version queen. This is episode 1601.
Uno.
A milestone show, if you will. On today's show, my friends, it's my favorite segment of the week. It's Math Tuesday, and we're going to look at some numbers, but they're numbers that have to do with Dave Campbell's Texas football covers, and we'll explain why we're doing this in just a minute. Then in the back half of the show, Matt Stepp, all our buddies, all our recruiting friends, Mike Roach, Gabe Brooks, Carter Yates.
Everybody.
I don't think Ishmael Johnson went. Grev Powers, everyone was out at the 7-on-7 SQT last Saturday morning out at Justin Northwest. It was chock full of Texas high school football prospects and chock full of coaches watching those prospects. One of which, a name you've heard before, it's Southlake Carroll head coach Riley Dodge. Our very own Matt Stepp caught up with him, so you'll get to hear more about the Dragons in the back half of the show. Before we kick off into America's favorite segment, do we have First Four through the door?
We sure do. It was Nick Morton, Ed McElroy, Tony Blaylock. What?
Every time. McElroy.
McElroy. Gosh dang it.
And she does it every time.
Matt
She loves
Stepp.
you.
I'm so sorry. Gosh
No.
dang it. I'll get it eventually.
My favorite
It
thing...
looks like McElroy.
It does. And my favorite thing about it is
McElroy.
I did it for so long, but then I just, it got to the point where once you do the show every day, but I get it. Ed laughs all the time because he knows that I
I'm
used
so
to mess
sorry.
it up every single time.
Of course.
Welcome in, friends. I guess real fast, how was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was good. Started off on Saturday. Went out, played a round of golf with my guy friends from
Yeah.
high school. That was a lot of fun. And then on Sunday, went out to the lake. We didn't go on the boat on Sunday. We went out on the boat on Monday, and I got some skiing in. So
Nice.
I am very sore, my muscles and my face, because I got sunburn on my face too.
Yeah,
if you
your
can't tell. So,
skiing will really take it out of your lower back.
Man,
I don't
and
think you realize how much it
Uh-uh.
it pulls on you.
It really doesn't, especially when you start getting overconfident and you're trying all these crazy tricks. I'm trying to do the little worm inside the lane and stuff, and it really takes a toll on your back. I'm not kidding, but
Yeah,
it was fun.
And the wind, I was just going to say, the really good thing, because people would be surprised when you're skiing how much wind can affect that. Because you have to stay
definitely.
inside the wake. If you get anywhere outside the wake and it's really windy when you're skiing, you get...
Oh, there was a ton of boats out there too, so the waves were kind of
Yeah.
pretty big. But how was your Memorial Day?
It was good. I was able to go down to Waco, actually.
That's right.
Beautiful, scenic Waco, Texas, on Saturday.
Waco, America.
Yeah, on Saturday. And a bunch of our family, my parents came in from Llano, some of our family from Austin came up, so it was perfect. And then my brother and I
fun.
went down, and so it was perfect, kind of 2 hours-ish, a little bit more for everybody. And we went to our favorite spot in Waco, mine and your favorite spot,
Yes.
may I precursor this, and Schmel's, Putters. If you're ever looking for something, if you actually
Putters.
need something to do in Waco, Putters is amazing. So I took the family to Putters. We had a nice meal, and then the rest of the time, Sunday and Monday was spent getting my life together. After magazine and streaming season and cleaning, and it was actually really, it sounds boring, but it was really good because it was a lot of stuff that I needed to get done,
Yeah.
and then scheduling baseball games. So quaint but relaxing.
Good. I'm glad. That's how it's supposed to be spent.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Yeah. So this leads us perfectly into our next favorite segment, and I'll explain why after it is time for Math Tuesday.
Math too. Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday. Not only do the patriotic American flag wavers of exploding houses fit perfectly with Memorial Day weekend. But on top of that, this fits perfectly because we sent the 64th edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, our yearly annual summer magazine, to press last Friday, the 26th. It's the one of the top 3 best days of the year around our office. The team works so incredibly hard to put together that 400-page beast, and it's not just our team here on the editorial staff. You and I didn't have as much to do with it this year as we have in years past, solely for the fact that we are also still very heavily involved in scheduling postseason games for the UIL streaming-wise. So don't let Tepper hear us say this, but he was nice and didn't give us a whole lot to do because he knew that we were juggling a whole lot, but we did do a lot of page reading.
Yeah. This was actually my first magazine season on the editorial staff because I was here last year as a full-time operations employee, but this was my first full year as an editorial staff during magazine season.
Yeah, so I forgot. I guess that was you. I guess you actually theoretically did a lot more with the magazine this season than you had ever done in the past. I forgot about that.
Last year Tepper didn't give me any pages to read or anything. We were bogged down with like Whataburger presentations and stuff, and so we were trying to get those done. He was, I guess, nice to me last year too because he didn't give me pages to read. But yeah, this year I had a lot more to do with the magazine than I had in previous years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess Tepper was just nice to me then because he took some of this.
He
stuff
was
off
not
my
nice
plate.
to me this year. I guess.
Yeah. Like last year I was in the thick of magazine stuff. Whether that came to writing a handful of things, and then I laid out the 2A pages last year. I read every single high school page last year on top of college pages.
Right.
So he kind of dialed that back. I didn't have to lay pages this year. William Wilkerson took that over, which was great. And then we now, since our staff is growing so much more, we don't have to read every single page for it to go through 3 times. Back every single year that I've been here, you've had to read basically all 400 pages of that magazine, which you would be surprised at how much time that genuinely takes.
Right.
But that all being said, we celebrated with our scotch and ice cream. It was fantastic. We had and we had an unbelievable pie. Powers picked out a great pie.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that pie.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Tepper bought the scotch. It was very, very good. And then the ice cream, we tried the Dr. Pepper Bluebell Float.
It was good. It was really good. It kind of tasted like, I don't remember who said this, but it kind of tasted like a root beer float, but in this case, a Dr. Pepper float.
Yeah.
But that's something that you could put in Dr. Pepper and make a Dr. Pepper float instead of a root beer float. But it was really good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I didn't think it was I thought it was either going to be really, really good or just terrible.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good for someone who doesn't love ice cream. So it was pretty good.
I took my one bite.
Did you like it?
Very sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't get to really give a full, thorough evaluation of the taste because
it was so sweet.
The sweetness just really threw me for that's the first bite of ice cream I've had in I couldn't tell you how many years, and I was like, oh, whoa, your tongue slap your brains out. But anyway, so we're very, very excited, and that means that next Monday, June 5th, it's our favorite show of the year. It is cover reveal day. So we have a main cover. We have a gatefold cover. We will not tell you who is on that until now. Until then, rather.
Until then.
We were not going to tell you. Now, got him. But what we wanted to do for Math Tuesday is dive into the numbers of just some of the covers that we've had for Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So obviously, most of you know this, but the first one was in 1960. There was one person on the cover there. And then the cover reveal for this year's magazine will be on June 5th. So this very program at noon, Texas Football Today. Tepper will be back. I'll be sitting in the chair. I think we're going to bring in quite a few people. You will probably be on it because you were editing the video, the cover reveal video of the gatefold cover.
Yes.
I will edit the main cover one, and then we're definitely going to bring Ish and maybe Craven and some other people on to talk about what all goes into this year's cover. We will not be saying that here. We're going to remind ourselves of that so we don't mess up. But let's take a look at the numbers of just some fun things that we decided to look at when it comes to what makes up Dave Campbell's Texas Football Summer Edition covers. So in total, there will be 64 magazines. We can officially say we have completed 64 magazines. They're not on store shelves yet. Those will be coming out if you are a subscriber towards the end of June. If you are not a subscriber, you'll have to go scour the earth to find them. So I would they're
it's so popular
to find. So I would highly recommend that you become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber at texasfootball.com/subscribe. But take a look at this. I found it very interesting. We had the idea to look at how many covers have had just a singular cover subject, whether that be just a coach, just a player, or how many have had multiple cover subjects on them. So some of them are a mixture of coaches and players. Some of them are a mixture of just players. Some of them are a mixture of college and high school. Some of them are just college, blah, 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 blah. We looked into all of that. But singular cover subjects, out of the 63 covers that y'all know of, have been 31 singular, 32 multiple, and then obviously the question mark of what will be there for the 2023 cover. But I think that's super fascinating that we're basically in all 63 of them, basically 50-50, and that's not something that we ever really take into account
of. Right. Well, and I think too there's a part of it where some of them have a couple of different subjects on them, but the cover itself is about one specific person or subject. Like, which one did we say? It was the Gary Patterson cover, where Gary Patterson is on the cover, and then down in the corner you've got 4 other smaller
little blurbs.
coaches. Yes, blurbs of coaches. We counted that as one singular person on the cover because the cover story was about Gary Patterson.
Right. The whole cover was. And then on the counter side of that, so if you want to technically say, oh yeah, well there was multiple people on the cover, it's like there's really not. There was the cover and then there was a blurb
down
previewing
there.
something down there.
Yes.
Check out the Baylor section with this. But then there's another time where like I think of the cover that has the Texas Tech, so it's like Mike Leach, Michael Crabtree, and Graham Harrell on it. And yes, there are 3 people on that cover. They're all Texas Tech. They're all meant to be that way.
Right,
you
exactly.
know? Or there are some covers where there's 2 separate, like a Longhorn player and an A&M player on it. I can't remember which year that was, but there's like those were the cover subjects. There was no little
blurbs
like,
down
here's
there.
Graham Harrell and then check out about Gary Patterson down here. It's like, no, here's Texas versus A&M, 2 players, blah blah blah. Or like the Cyrus Gray Jonathan Gray cover, where Jonathan Gray was in high school, Cyrus Gray was at A&M. It's like, yes, but that's the actual, it formulates the cover,
right?
You know,
exactly.
So anyway, yeah, almost dead even, and then obviously we'll figure out what or who or whom is on the 2023 cover on June 5th. Taking it a step further here. There are only 2 main covers that are fully illustrated. In 1995, it was the big one taking a look at what was then the giant Southwest Conference. And then in 2015, it was an illustration of Texas and Texas A&M going into what I believe was that the last season.
I think so.
I think the last season that they were going to be facing off before splitting up.
Yeah, because when did Texas A&M move to the SEC?
That's a good question.
Probably around that year. Anyways, but it's funny when we were taking a look at the 2 illustrated covers, we knew for sure that 2015 was illustrated. We saw 1995 and we both looked at each other and we were like, is that really?
2012. 2012 was when they officially became members of the SEC, Missouri and Texas A&M.
Okay.
And then, so 2015 was talking about this should be a renewed rivalry.
Got it. That's right. Okay. But anyways, yeah, we took a look at 1995 and we were like, are those actually pictures that were just made to look like illustrations? But we picked it up and looked at it closely. And they're definitely illustrations.
Yeah, I think that there were illustrations based off of real
pictures.
photos, but it wasn't just one of those things where they took a picture and kind of doctored it up a little bit. I mean, I think we legitimately had an illustrator come in and do that.
Which is mind-blowing. When you closely look at this cover, I mean, it's incredible, the detail on it. I mean, I could never do that.
We recently, and I know that Tepper, the managing editor, is the one that fundamentally has the most say of, and Tepper does great, and he allows all of us to really give our input into this. But that being said, you can really kind of notice the differences in ages of the managing editor of the magazine. And so I have always loved the 1995 cover as the tribute to the Southwestern Conference, because I think that was exactly what needed to be done at that point. Tepper's a lot more of like a minimalist when it comes to the magazines that have come out under his regime of being like, hey, we need to step back. We don't need it to be, super crowded, all of this
Let
stuff.
the picture do the talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do love that one. I have
do too.
always loved that one. And I know some people in the office are like, it's whatever. But it was like, no, that was accumulation of a tribute to something that was so important, especially in the fundamental part of this magazine, because that's why Dave started
I was going to say,
this
especially
magazine.
to Dave. Exactly.
And
he
so
loved
I
the
think
Southwest
that
Conference.
I think it's fantastic. And I think that there are talks of conference realignment all the time and what can you do with it. And sometimes it's just like, no, there's way too much going on. It's too chaotic. But I think that was the perfect call for the 1995 cover.
Agreed.
So those are the only two fully illustrated covers on the main cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Then going from there, let's take a look at the guy that has been on the cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football more than anybody else, and that's Cliff Kingsbury. He is the only 3-time cover subject in the history of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Started off there, obviously, as the Texas Tech quarterback in 2001. Then again in 2002. That 2002 is actually interesting because Emmitt Smith is the only cover subject that is in an actual NFL uniform on our cover. We've had a lot of people that have obviously, just like Patrick Mahomes in 2016, gone on to have illustrious careers, currently having an illustrious career in the NFL. But he's in a Texas Tech jersey. He's not actually in a Kansas City Chiefs jersey, which wouldn't make sense. But say he was playing for the Dallas Cowboys again. But the focus here is then the Kingmaker making it as a coach. So he's transitioned from player, and coach, but a couple of other people have done that, but he's the only one that has done it three different times. We were actually in shock by that.
Yeah, I know. That was really interesting. And honestly, we didn't even see that 2001 cover. I had taken a look at the 2002 cover, and I was like, oh, here's Cliff Kingsbury on there. That, that's another double subject. But then Ish came up and was like, oh, no, he's on 2001 too. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's right. I mean, he was on there 3 different times, back to back.
So there's that. Then we're moving on to, there's 4 other gentlemen who have been on the cover twice. The first of which being Colt McCoy. He made it in on 2007 and then was the singular cover subject for that 2009 cover. Obviously, Texas then going on to the national championship game. They lost to Alabama, but I've always loved that 2009 cover. I think These Eyes of
really
Texas,
cool.
like the headline is fantastic. The lighting is really good. That's one of the only ones that we've done such a super big close-up shot like that. But Colt McCoy has been on twice. Then moving down there to the bottom, Graham Harrell, he was on the main cover in his Texas Tech jersey in 2008. Then in our gatefold cover, he was on in 2020. If you will remember, that was the celebration that we did for the 100th year of the UIL. So he is actually up there at the very crest of the helmet in his Ennis jersey, kind of paying homage to his very impressive high school career that he had under his father there at Ennis. Then another player who was on the gatefold and the main cover, Sam Ellinger, had the gatefold cover with Todd Dodge there in 2016, and then followed on to be the singular cover subject as the quarterback of the Texas Longhorns there in 2019. Moving it down to the bottom, oddly enough, 2 covers
so
that
funny.
we've talked about
Yeah.
in this slide. Todd Dodge being a coach of Austin Westlake at that point in 16, then moves over into the gatefold cover, again, celebrating the 100th year of the UIL in 2020. just 2020, the year that we all try to forget about, but an unbelievable cover, and he is there as a player on that one. So just really, really cool. Kind of funny that both of those translate over, but
I know.
ultimately, Cliff Kingsbury has been on the main cover 3 times, and then Colt McCoy is the only other subject that has been on the main cover twice. Everyone else is a mixture between main and gatefold.
Right.
Or in Todd Dodge's case, is the only person that's been on the gatefold cover twice.
Right.
Which is saying something, considering, moving on to this next and final slide, I believe, that, maybe I forgot to upload it, but we had another one. Let me take a look here. I put something in, maybe I didn't make something. I thought that I did. Anyway, the gatefold cover, there has only been 8 of them. We started it, 2016 was actually the very first gatefold cover that we did. So Todd Dodge and Sam Ellinger. And then obviously we've pretty much, from that point on, have followed, other than 2018, when we put Ed Oliver, who was at Houston at the time as a college player, on there. But from that point, we've really kind of followed the mold of doing college on front, high school on gatefold. That has, in the years since Tepper has been managing editor, he's always liked that kind of balance, because going back to 2020, we really sat there and talked about the fact of, should we put the UIL 100th as the main cover? And we went back and forth, especially because there was a lot of controversy as, okay, well, then if we're not going to do that, what should be the main cover? And can we even really get a main cover, because we're in the midst of this pandemic? Like, if there's a time to put just solely high school as the main cover, would this be it? We ultimately ended up deciding that that was not the case. We put Shane Buechele on the cover there at SMU, and we kind of went off the beaten path with that a little bit too, because it was like, hey, let's put a group of 5 school on there. So yeah, 2020 was the one that was, I would say, probably the closest to getting a high school on the main cover.
That's interesting.
And
I didn't know that.
even in 2018, I know there was this is just straight up peeling back the door. I was not here yet, but I know that there was a lot of internal discussion of a lot of members of the team wanted to put the North Shore Duncanville gatefold cover on the main one and switch it around, because I believe Jimbo was the cover of the 2018 cover. And so it is funny, there have been a couple of times that we have toggled with the fact of, hey, would there be something? But in my time, it was like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We can't really go do a cover shoot anyway. That cover of Shane Buechele was actually taken from a game shot, obviously, and then we kind of photoshopped it onto there. But yeah, 2020 was probably the one where it got the closest to being like, hey, if there's a better time to do it than now. Obviously, we ended up keeping it the same just to kind of keep it the same that way. But that was the one that you and I kind of were talking about of, would we consider that an illustration? And it's like, no, because
it's a picture.
Is actual just pictures put together. So that's one that you can go back and forth on. Heck, I would almost even say that the A&M cover that we did in 2021 could be talked about in the same regard of, those are actual cover photos that we took of each individual athlete, but the picture of Kyle Field in the back was doctored to look that way. Like, those are cutouts of those. Like, you look at last year's with Jeff Traylor and Joey McGuire, that's a legitimate photograph. That they were standing there in Gordon Wood Stadium with that behind them. With the A&M one, those are pictures, just like the 2020 Texas high school football celebration one, but they're cutouts and maneuvered to be a certain way. So that would be a whole other category in and of itself.
Right. I guess it kind of just depends on what you consider an illustration and what you consider, like, I mean, I guess, what category would we put those in then?
Yeah,
I mean, a collage?
Yeah, collage is what I would say.
You know,
because there's another
that
one.
that other illustration, the 1995 cover, that's a collage, but that's an illustration. There's so many different little
I think there
subjects you can put in.
I agree with you in the fact that you were the one that told me, you're like, no, I wouldn't consider this an illustration. I was like, Okay, yeah, you're right. So I would say
because they're
that
actual
there's-
pictures of people. Yeah, like there was a
Yeah.
camera that took. Yeah,
That's why we
pictures of-
kind of separated the fact of like illustration was actual. It wasn't a photograph. It was
Right.
designed.
right.
The other ones are definitely collages because there's one. It's not a good cover, but it's the state of Texas. It says breakthrough real big, and then there's
Yes.
like 4 players coming out of it. So again, a collage with some illustration mixed into it.
Hey, we got a
So-
mean green guy on the cover. Don't diss that.
Aw.
Aw.
I've been telling them to put me and you on the cover in
Who was-
Apogee for so
I
long,
know, I'm
but
saying-
they don't do it.
Who was that?
But they could maybe in 2023.
There it is. It's me and you.
We said we weren't going to tell them.
Dang it! Sorry. Here we go. Breaking news.
So there you go. Math Tuesday. Looking inside, just some numbers as we're just trying to get y'all excited. The cover reveal for the 2023, the 64th summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football will be revealed right here on this very program, Monday, June 5th. We are so excited. We hope that you will tell all your friends. We're going to start working on the cover reveal videos because we haven't had time to do that. We've got all week to get that done, and then we will be revealing them right here. Texas Football Today. Super, super excited. We are Texas Football Today. We are here every weekday at noon talking football in the Lone Star State. We hope that you will consider becoming a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. I don't think I can guarantee. I think, honestly, between me and you guys, I think that if you subscribe right now, literally right now, you will likely get the magazine before it hits newsstands. So go ahead and get
Yes.
that done. But regardless, Father's Day is coming up. Father's Day is only a couple of weeks away, and there is no better present to get your dad than a subscription to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's a steal. We have an annual subscription that is $49.99, $49.95, $49.99.
$49.90.
It's
Something
under
like that.
$50.
It's-
That gets
there
you
we go.
everything, all of the content online. 3 magazines, because now Dave Campbell's Texas Basketball is included in on that, which we are so excited about. The recruiting magazine, the magazine that will be revealing the cover of June 5th, and then Texan Live. Guys, there are thousands of high school sporting events, including hundreds of playoff events. We literally have a full slate of high school baseball regional playoffs coming up this week. You want to get your hands on that. It's a literal steal. Go to texasfootball.com/subscribe. Make sure Mallory can put food on the table.
Yes.
That's the main reason why we need you to
Please.
subscribe.
Please. I'm a hungry gal.
I'm a hungry gal. All right, Mal, let's hear a word from our sponsors. Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. All right, Mallory, we just got done talking about putting together the summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, the 64th edition, coming to your house, hopefully if you're a subscriber, very, very soon. I'm not going to give away what's in the magazine. I'm not going to tell you what's on the magazine. You'll have to go there for rankings. But one guy I can guarantee will be named in the magazine a couple different times would be Southlake Carroll coach Riley Dodge. Him and his Dragons were out at the Justin Northwest 7-on-7 SQT this past weekend. Our very own Matthew Stepp, the rugged and reliable Matthew Stepp, caught up with Southlake Carroll coach Riley Dodge. Here is Stepp's conversation with Coach Dodge.
Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, back here at the Northwest 7-on-7 state qualifying tournament. Here with the head coach, those Southlake Carroll Dragons, Coach Riley Dodge, our good friend. And, Coach, I appreciate you taking a minute to chat with us before you kiddos get going today.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
All right, first of all, you have a tumultuous relationship with 7-on-7 sometimes. I know there's good and bad to it, obviously, but when you watch your kids play today, what do you want to see from your kiddos when they're competing today?
Well, I think the biggest thing, a lot of people do the same way we do, is just, we hand it over to the kids. Our quarterback's our offense coordinator, our safety's our defense coordinator, and you kind of get to see how they manage the football game a little bit, and the clock and all that good stuff. So it's fun to see it in that aspect, and but just see them operating, competing. I think that's the biggest thing we want to see.
Quarterbacks, take your drops, right?
Quarterbacks, you better take your drops.
No taking the snap and standing there, right?
I'll lose my mind.
No video. We don't need video of that, right?
No, we do not. No, we do not.
All right, you guys wrapped up spring ball recently. Overall, what'd you want to get out of spring ball, and do you feel like you got that accomplished? And most importantly, did you get out of it healthy?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I say it every year. We got out of it healthy. Had a lot of guys step up. We had some older guys that we held out that were still nursing injuries from the season, so we had some younger kids step in, and those were some bright spots. So we felt like we built some depth in the spring, and felt like our quarterback made a big jump going into the summertime.
All right, now you got to have that depth if you want to make those deep playoff runs. All the teams that play in December typically have depth, so you got to build that up in the spring, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, we're just trying different things and putting kids in uncomfortable situations and see how they handle it, especially the pups. And we have a pretty talented rising sophomore class that's going to be able to help us out a little bit and build that depth. But no, that was huge. You don't know until you turn the film on and put them in those situations. But I'm really, really happy.
How do you assess your district going into the season? Obviously, I think most would agree you guys are probably the favorites. You guys have won the district and been a consistent powerhouse. Everybody knows the tradition that you guys have at Southlake Carroll. But the rest of the district, it seems like overall, I think it's going to be most everyone in the district seems to have taken a step forward. I know Byron Nelson lost a lot offensively, but they've got a lot back on defense. I think Eaton's bringing a lot back. They're going to be experienced. The Keller schools are always tough, and they kind of beat up. It's hard to tell from them because they always kind of beat up on each other. The depth in the district, I think, is going to be pretty solid this year, top to bottom. Would you agree?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I think we've all kind of been grouped together for the last 5 years just by proximity, so we've seen each other a lot. But you've seen the growth in all the programs, and it's kind of hard to go through every single one. But, when you talk about Byron Nelson, just very, very athletic. They had a heck of a year last year. We had a battle with them late in the season. Eaton's going to continue. They're growing like crazy out there. So they're getting athletes in left and right. But just across the board, the Kellers, like you said, it's a very competitive district. There's really not a night off. And we understand that we have a target on our back, and we have to be ready each and every week.
You just can't just roll off the bus, and because you have Southlake on your uniform, you're going to win, right? You guys got to come out and play well, right?
Yeah, and we talk about that all the time. I think that's you want to play in a program like that where you're on edge all the time, and you are going to get everybody's best shot.
All right, final question for you. This is a fun one. I've always wondered this about you. I can tell a lot about a person by this question. All right, are you a pancake or waffle guy, and why?
I'm an Eggo waffle guy.
Okay.
I mean, I like waffles. I'm not a big waffle guy from your traditional.
Like the waffle maker in the hotel?
No, I'm more of just from like Kroger or Tom Thumb. Let's go get it out of the carton and let's put it in the toaster myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's convenient. You like to be in control, right?
Yeah.
You want to control how well done it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the offensive quarterback in you. I think you want to be in control.
Yeah, and I might be a little crazy, but I like my waffles a little burnt. Okay. So I like the control, the toastiness.
I got you. Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Riley Dodge, waffle guy. Coach, enjoy watching your kids compete today, and good luck in 2023. And as always, I appreciate what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
All right. He had me with the Eggo comment.
Yes.
Like I'm here for that. I love Eggo waffles. I do.
do
Like
too.
the strawberry ones.
Yes.
Dope.
I know you're not a big sweets fan, but the chocolate ones rule too.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Really
I haven't had those. Yeah, the blueberry ones are fine. The strawberry ones that's it. That
Yes.
being said, he had me at that point. He completely lost me with the burnt.
Yeah,
Who likes burnt Eggos?
who likes burnt anything?
Anything.
Except burnt bacon ends.
Correct. Bacon burn-ins, but yes.
Same thing.
You can burn them and they're still going to
Correct.
taste good. Yeah, no, I got to say, like, he had me in the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I can't get behind the burnt thing. I'm also, like, I agree with you, though. I literally put stuff in the toaster just to warm it up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want any kind of burnt.
If it comes out burnt, it's an accident.
Yeah.
Like I stuck a bagel in
Yeah,
there
you
last
did burn a
week and
bagel
I
last week.
accidentally burned it. And that was not on purpose, so I don't like anything
Yeah.
burnt really.
I respect the ego thing though.
Yeah, for sure. I do too.
So, yeah, they'll be good at football again. But most importantly, Riley Dodge likes Eggos. All right, anyway.
Burnt Eggos.
So, burnt Eggos, yeah. So there he is, Southlake Carroll coach Riley Dodge. Well, he said he likes his coffee super sweet, so maybe that's it. It kind of balances out a little bit.
Yeah, that
All
makes
right,
sense.
Makes sense. There he is, Southlake Carroll coach Riley Dodge. They should be quite a good team. That being said, though, they did lose. They talked a lot about their district there. They fell to Byron Nelson, district bunkmate Byron Nelson, in that very SQT to not qualify for state. Byron Nelson did qualify. Southlake Carroll still on the hunt to punch their ticket to College Station State 7-on-7 in June.
End of June. We're almost.
Time has no meaning.
This coming month. Very
Cool.
soon. Less than a month away.
There is no finish line. It's just on to the
It's
next
just a
thing.
break. Yep. That's true.
Speaking of going on to the next thing, let's head over to our associate producer, Mallory Hartley, for America's second favorite segment, Behind Math Tuesday. Final thoughts.
Correct. We'll be here tomorrow, normal time.
Correct, with
But
Grev.
we'll add Grev to the bunch.
Yeah.
And then
What could go wrong?
What could
Us and Grev.
yeah, what could go wrong there? And then on Thursday, we'll still be here, but it won't be TFT. It'll be WTF.
Yes,
So we're
let's
gonna replace Women Talking Football or Texas Football Today with Women Talking Football at noon. So.
Yeah, we basically held the guys hostage and we're like, you can't tell us what show, so
No.
we're going to be women
We're,
and we're going to talk football, and then I stiff-armed them.
Yeah. We're running the show. We're running the digits over here.
Yeah.
So they can't tell us what to do.
That's exactly what we should tell
They
them.
can't
We're
even
like,
run this board.
Mm-mm.
So why are they even talking?
That's true. We should tell the men that if they want to tell
suck.
us that women talking football cannot take over, then they have to learn how to run the system.
Dudes suck. Hashtag dudes suck.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram at Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. And, of course, see all of our fine work on TexasFootball.com and TexanLive.com. That's where you can actually see mine and Mallory's work. Thanks
Yes.
again to Riley Dodge for hanging out with Matthew earlier this week. For Mallory Hartley, I'm Ashley Pickle. Vince Young. You know what? Oh, it's still sitting
Where
over
is
there.
it? Oh.
I put it over there for
Here.
some kind of show. Do 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 do. There we go. Tell the people.
That was loud. Vince Young, come get your Player of the Year trophy.
Oh, he almost just decapitated Mallory. Please come get it. I need her. We will see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.